Okay, all right, I've got it right here. All right, so one of the questions, that I think is an important question for all of us, just personally, to be able to ask it, and I'm sure you've asked it in different ways, even your family members. I've done that with my kids, who are two of them are doing college at home, and I liken to say that they're doing the college thing without the fun part of the college thing, right? So we're all wondering, hey, what are we going to leave behind after COVID, and what will we take with you? That's a big question that all of us are navigating. I'm sure you, even as you were talking about the different things that you're grateful for, some of these things I hope that you will take with you. But one of the things I just wanted to share with you is something called the COVID curve, and this is just something that we've been working on. Where when we think about the curve, this is not like an S curve. It's not like a life cycle curve, but this is actually a curve more so like the flattening of the curve. And so when the crisis actually happened, we all reacted, we all pivoted, we all organized, and we all executed. And we've been doing that, and we've been in this mode for a while now. So we've now put ourselves online. We've now figured out how to do worship, or how to do small groups, or how to do baptisms, or how to do connections. We've been doing this, and there's a lot of ideas and innovation that has been happening around this, which is really cool to see the best practices, the sharing of those things. And this is a lot of what we've been doing. And we're at this current norm, but I think something really happened after Easter. First of all, you're probably seeing the decline of online attendance, number one. But number two, probably leaders are getting a little bit restless, and to be able to say, what's really next? Because we're doing this, and what does that really mean? And what does the next look like? What does the new normal look like? And I think what then churches now are rushing to, and leaders are rushing to, is the reentry conversation. And I like the word reentry better than reopening, because if language creates culture, right, then we were never closed. And so we probably shouldn't be using the word reopening, but maybe reentry or regathering or something in that way. And a lot of churches are now working on their reentry plans. Great, very, very needed, very, very important. And everybody's going to be at different paces for all these things, in different regions of the nation and the world. Um, but the bigger question, I think, as leaders, that I would challenge today, and maybe for you to consider, is what can we do to be able to make decisions about what the new normal will look like? What, as leaders, can we make? What kind of decisions can we make to be able to use this as an opportunity to be able to lead our teams, lead the different ministries that we're a part of, whether you're a part of a senior leadership team, or maybe you're a part of a departmental team, whatever that might be? How can we lead those forward in a way that really embraces and innovates, so that way we can actually lead towards that, even in uncertain times? So that means, what do we reshape? What do we reinvent? What do we re-envision in this season? If we just stay in this zone, and then just wait for the reentry to happen, I believe that we will lose an incredible opportunity to lead in this season. So let me just give you then one quick tool that I've been using with different churches, and would love to just put this in your toolbox, that you might be able to use, whether it be at your senior leadership teams, or at your specific ministries. We know that the recovery of everything will not be the same in the new normal. In fact, if we were to reshape something, there are predictive and preemptive decisions that what has or will change in the new normal. We can make those decisions as leaders. So I've been watching a lot of CNBC, looking at the stock market, what it's doing, and trying to learn as best as I can, and try to take advantage of whatever it is. And the terms that they say a lot are, this might be a V-shaped return. A V-shape basically is something that will come back. Some economists will truly believe that the economy will come straight back. As soon as things get open, the economy will come back. As soon as things open, things will come back. But other economists will actually say that no, it's actually more of a U-shaped return, that it's going to have a slower comeback on things. And so there's going to be a bottom that's going to be a little bit longer, and it's going to have a slower return going back up. That's the U shape. So when we started looking at this, we're talking how this could actually be a framework in which we evaluate ministries and look at ministries in a way that says, how can we use this as a tool, as a conversation piece, as a common language, as a framework to be able to then interpret all of our programs, initiatives, ministries through, so that that way we can have better strategies around. As we started doing this, there was something actually that we discovered called the L-shaped recovery, which is actually something that doesn't come back. So if you think about in this place, in this time, there are companies that are going bankrupt that will never come back. There are times where people, big box stores have not innovated enough, whether it be a Kodak, whether it be a Circuit City, a Blockbuster, right? And what has happened in those times is actually the J is actually, it's the opposite side of that, which is the Netflix has happened, the Disney Plus has happened, the Uber Eats that we're eating today has happened, right? All those things have happened. So when we start looking at it from a church context or a ministry context, what does it look like to be able to evaluate all of our ministries and make preemptive and predictive decisions around those ministries? So for example, let me just give you some examples. We know that maybe in certain places, the physical attendance of worship services is going to come back quickly. But what we're seeing as volunteers is actually coming back slowly. That people are very skeptical about, working with kids, in the season or whatever it might be. For some people, finances and generosity might be a U shape. It might have a longer term with unemployment. Other churches are seeing that it hasn't even taken, a dip. And so it's important to have some of those conversations and discussions about. But the other part of this is that this is an opportunity to be able to say, hey, we've been doing something that this might be an opportunity that we're not doing it right now in COVID, and maybe it shouldn't come back. And then we should really build some strategies around that, communication plans around that. But then there's also opportunities that we have to say, what have we learned through this COVID season that we can say that we are now doubling down on, and we are going to put our efforts and our energy and our resources and our leadership towards. So for example, online campus or online services or those kind of things, some people have done that in a supplemental way to be able to put that in, but they're now saying, we're going to actually continue that going through. And actually, Keith is on this call. He's on our Slingshot team as well, over communications. He's produced an incredible white paper about what the online implications for churches are, and what should that be a J for you. And if so, we'll even give you, even on there's a job description for an online campus pastor if you go that direction or way. So all this is just to start the conversation for you, a tool that you can have in your toolbox to be able to potentially frame your conversations, or use a common language to be able to say, hey team, we've been doing VBS for all these years. Maybe it's an L. I don't know. It's definitely not a prescriptive thing that I'm saying for anybody. I'm just as an example. Or maybe this is a J opportunity where we need to continue online groups because we're finding more vulnerability, more transparency in online groups than ever before. Whatever that is, the conversation that you have, this could be potentially a framework that you could use as a common language to be able to do so. So just to finish up, scrub all of your ministries, all of your programs, all of your events, all of your, and think about it in this way, and then categorize them in those, V-shaped return, U-shaped return, L-shaped return, J-shaped return, so that way you might be able to make the proactive decisions, not be reactive to the situations. We can do this in the new norm, but I think we'll be too late, or this is the opportunity to be able to do that now. So just wanted to give that as a tool for you, and would love for you to contact, love to connect with you. If you have any, if you want this, in a PDF form or whatever, I'll send that to you. So just screenshot or take a picture of this screen, and I would love to connect with you on that. So that's what I wanted to share with you. Thanks for just the opportunity to be able to share.
Thank you, Kay. And I'll provide his contact info in the after event email. So relax, just take in the information. That was high octane. So a lot to ponder. And I'm so glad that Kay can help you process that in your local context, because this is really high level stuff, but very, very valuable. So thank you. Next up, David Miller, Vice President of Slingshot Group Coaching Division, and he's got a great set of training and valuable coaching tips for us. So David, take it away.